Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Dorito2514 here again. I know it's been a while since I've made a video when it comes to, like, commentary over gameplay about different topics, but I don't know, I just felt like making this video because I started researching and getting into something that started, I kind of noticed that there's quite a bit of misinformation on the internet, and I don't want to come off as some sort of expert or incredibly knowledgeable about the stuff I'm talking about, but through experience, I've learned different things, and I just want to share them with you guys. What I'm going to be talking about today is CoD and internet, or CoD and your router. I'm just going to give a heads up, this video isn't going to have any type of screen recording of my PC where I'm going through and explaining things and showing you guys what I'm talking about. I'm just going to be talking about it. However, if you guys do want me to talk or go on my PC and screen record, I can do that for you if you let me know in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to record my screen and show you guys what I'm talking about. Excuse me. So I want to touch on routers, specifically Nighthawks. My internet, something that people always think about when it comes to the internet, which is like speeds, you know, this and that. What to look for in a router if you're looking for one, or if you don't know what to look for, and buffer bloat. So first off, everyone's heard about Nighthawks, or almost everyone in Call of Duty has heard about Nighthawks. You know, apparently you plug them in and they just make you melt. They make you sponge bullets, eat bullets, whatever you like to call it. And when I say melt, I mean like they make you kill faster. Now, this is it's kind of like partially true, I guess. You don't just plug it in and it magically works. You still have to go and change some things in your router settings. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you about my experiences. So over the past month, I had two routers. I've used two different Nighthawks. I've used the R6900P, and now I'm using the R7000. Now, the R6900P was good, but it didn't have what I was looking for. It didn't have, I guess, customizable QoS is what I call it. It had dynamic QoS, but that's not what I wanted, because dynamic QoS just lets the router choose your QoS rules or things like that. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, you don't really customize it however you want it. So instead, I wound up returning that to Amazon, and I got the R7000. Now, the R7000 for me has been way better. Excuse me. It's way better in terms of getting my NAT open on CoD, helping with buffer bloat, helping me melt my bullet reg, things like that. So one of the things that people one of the things that people think, like I said, is that you just plug in your Nighthawk and automatically you're going to be God, like a god. That's not true at all. So I had plugged mine in. I wasn't really noticing that I was melting or sponging bullets, getting an amazing bullet reg. And so I was like, what's up with that? You know, I spent like $150 on the router, and it's not working for me. And so I looked at more videos on YouTube, looked up some stuff on Reddit, just Googled some things, and I found out about this thing called buffer bloat. Now, like I said before, I'm not a professional, so I'm not going to try and explain something to you that I don't really understand myself. I just know that it has to do with, like, your upload and download, but more importantly, upload in Call of Duty, and like spikes or something like that, lag spikes, and your ping. So, the way you can reduce your buffer bloat is by throttling your upload by 70%. You could start off at 70%, and then you can work your way up and see if it still has the same effects as like 90%. I have mine throttled at 70% right now. But apparently buffer bloat, or reducing your buffer bloat, is how you melt in CoD or get great bullet reg. And I didn't really believe it until I tried it out myself. And I'm not gonna lie, my bullets reg, literally every time I shoot at someone, there's good bullet reg. I kid you not. Now, I'm not going to say that I always melt or that I always sponge bullets, because that's not true. Sometimes I do melt. Sometimes I sponge bullets, but it's not all the time. And that's something that a lot of people think when they buy Nighthawk, is every gunfight, every game you're going to play, you're going to sponge bullets, melt, get amazing bullet reg, and only one of those is true, at least for me, and that's just the bullet reg. My bullet reg is always good now. It was not bad, but it wasn't great, and now I know what great bullet reg is, and it's amazing. The Nighthawk really has improved my experience now on Call of Duty. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's great having one. Yeah. So like I said, buffer bloat, if you have a router, check to see if you have QoS rules on your router, and give your PlayStation the highest priority on QoS, and also throttle your upload speed. I know that most routers given by your ISP, internet service provider, you're not going to have that type of option on it. I know on mine, I use Uverse. They don't have that type of function or functionality. There's no QoS option on that, and that's kind of to be expected because it's not an aftermarket router. It's just one given to you by your ISP. So if you go out and look for a router, look for something that has QoS, and not just QoS, but most, like, I know the Nighthawks, they say dynamic QoS, but they don't have anything else. So if you're looking for a Nighthawk and you say it only says dynamic QoS, I probably wouldn't invest in that, just because it's not going to give you what you're going to want. You can't really throttle your speeds like you can with a R7000. Excuse me. So make sure that you look for something that says it's optimized for Xbox, PlayStation gaming, just anything in that nature. Or look up I'm sorry, excuse me. Just look at videos showing the software or the firmware for that router that you have, and making sure that you can do things like that. Throttle your upload. Because I made the mistake of not looking or not being thorough enough, and I wasted, like a week or so with a router that didn't do what I wanted it to do. So yeah. As far as getting my NAT type open, I know that's another big thing that people are always trying to do when it comes to Call of Duty. With the R7000, I plugged it in and immediately NAT type open. Why? Because they have this thing called Universal Plug and Play, UPnP. A lot of aftermarket routers also have this. You plug it in, and it detects what ports you need open, and it opens it for you. You could still open the ports manually if you want, but you don't need. I didn't do that. I didn't have to do that. It just does it automatically. The other router, R6900P, took me hours to get it open. And it also has the UPnP, but it wasn't wanting to work for some reason. I don't know if it's just the one that I had specifically, like if it was just defective when it came to that aspect. But the R7000 been really, really good to me. Yeah, so if you're looking for an aftermarket router, I don't want to say I recommend Nighthawks. And I think that's the only con for me at this point, is that I also got an R7000 because you can upload, or you used to be able to install custom firmware like DDWRT, Tomato, things like that. That's for like advanced users, but you used to be able to install different types of firmware. And I tried doing it on mine, and it would constantly tell me error, firmware is not compatible with device, error code -2 or something like that. And I did some research, and it turns out that Netgear, if you bought your router after September of 2018, I believe, maybe a little bit earlier than that, they did something, so you're kind of like stuck with their firmware now. So that's like one of the biggest reasons people would get R7000s, because you could put your custom firmware on them, and it's, for a lot of people that do advanced things on the router, it's way better than just using Nighthawk, or the Netgear Nighthawk firmware. I'm not saying that the Nighthawk firmware is bad. It's very, very friendly for people that aren't really comfortable with routers and navigating their interface. Very, very friendly. It's really, really good. Good UI. But there's some features, some things that people want, and they don't have it, so they install their own custom firmware. But you can't do that anymore. You have to go to eBay and look for some that already have a custom firmware on it, or they just claim that they have the capability to run a custom firmware, and that's going to cost obviously more money. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but so far the pros they strongly outweigh the cons, so I'm pretty happy with mine still. Something else I want to talk about is speeds for internet. I know that everyone is someone that they're getting melted in CoD joked, so they say, you know what, I'm gonna upgrade my internet. I'm gonna give myself, I'm gonna get a gigabit connection. I'm gonna get like 500, 300 down. Now this doesn't really fix your problem. It might help with some things, but it's not gonna fix your problem. When you want to upgrade your internet or things like that, you don't really need a gigabit connection. You don't need 300 down. You don't even need 100 down or 100 up. When I say down, I mean like up and down. I have a fiber connection, so they're both the same. My up and down speeds, upload and download speeds. What you want to look for is a decent upload connection. I mean, you don't need more than like 5 to run COD, but for the buffer bloat and throttling it, I guess I'd recommend like at least 20. And you also need to get a decent ping. Now, if you want a good ping, I'd recommend getting a fiber optic connection. If you don't know what a fiber optic connection is, it's like I said, I'm not going to try and explain something I don't know too much about. I just know it's way better than your copper cables. Obviously way better than DSL. Fiber optic is what they use for gigabit connections, I think. And if you're not sure what type of connection you have, you can do a speed test. Just Google speed test. I think .net or .com, something like that. It's by Ookla. And typically, if you have a fiber connection, your upload and your download are going to be very, very close in range, I guess. So like me, I have 120 down, or 120 to 125 down, 120 to 125 up. Now, if you have like 100 down, like 20 up, 120 down, and like 10 up, you don't have a fiber connection. You have cable, okay? So, having a fiber optic connection lowered my ping by quite a bit. I think I had like 20 ping, and I didn't move houses. I just switched the type of connection. I went from 20 ping to like 1. Obviously that's the closest server to me, but it still lowered my ping dramatically. So yeah, getting crazy internet speeds isn't always going to fix your problem. Just look for a decent upload and good ping. That's what you need to look for. Now, something else that I just reminded myself about is QoS. So, say you have a Nighthawk, you have a gigabit connection, or 300 down, 300 up to a gigabit connection. I've read that if you have at least 300 down, 300 up, you don't need to use QoS because it's not going to make a difference. I don't know, I can't verify that because I don't have 300 down, 300 up, but that's what everyone says on Reddit. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the video here. If you guys want me to screen record my PC and show you guys what I'm talking about when I talk about buffer bloat, UPnP, port forwarding, fiber connections, this and that, throttling my upload and QoS and all that stuff, I can do that for you guys. Just let me know in the comment section and I'll find out how to screen record my PC screen, my monitor for my PC, and I'll go in more depth, but just let me know in the comment section. But yeah, thank you guys for listening.